Windows Server 2019 System Administration. Welcome back everybody. I'm Prakash Pradhan, your trainer for this entire series. One of the major responsibility of every system administrator in any network infrastructure is to look after the file and folders sharing security. So in order to understand completely how the files are shared, how the folders are shared, how the NTFS permissions are shared, and how the home folder is shared in your domain environment, this we are going to see in detail. I often hear the people saying this is the your home directory, but it is not directory. For your general information, directory word we use actually technically only in CUI, like we use these things in MS-DOS. Okay, now since we are going to do everything using a GUI, so we call it home folder. So what is home folder, how it works, this I'm going to explain you in detail. So first I'm going to take you to my server 2019. Okay, now from here we'll start our journey. In order to set any NTFS permission, in order to have a home folder, we need to have administrative privilege. Of course, we have login as a system administrator over here. Now the say NTFS permission you might have heard very often, but the home folder, first you need to understand. Home folder is actually basically a folder itself that will get displayed in a form of your network drive. For example, if I see my my computer property over here, see these are the drive actually that I'm having. But when I talk about the home folder, okay, one separate drive will be displayed over here, separate drive, and that drive is actually nothing, just a logically or virtually mapped one drive actually in terms of your folder. So only that particular user whom the permission is assigned will be able to see that home directory or the home folder. As I said, directory is used only for the CUI. Only that home folder is visible only to this authenticated and authorized user. When the second user login in that, we see that drive will vanish from there. So without wasting much time, so let's start our work. So first I'm going to show you that I have created few users along with one group so that we can set the permission over there. So let's see, I have created one OU, I mean to say one group, and inside the group there are 3 users who are going to test the home folder and your NTFS permission. Okay, so that one is over here. See, NTFS is a one group. Inside a group I have nested 3 users here, 1 2 3. They all are the member of this group called NTFS. That means when we set the NTFS permission over here, I'm going to use my group name as NTFS. Of course, in your environment you might be using your finance, okay, it might be your HR, any department name. That is of course all the time whenever we create OU or the group, it's related to the department, so that it is easy to assign any kind of permission. So these are the 3 users I have created and made a member of this group. If you see this user, member of domain users and NTFS group. Of course, whenever we create any user account in the domain environment, that will be by default your member of domain users. Okay, now first part, creating your user and making a member of certain group is done, but it is not mandatory to make all this user as a part of group. Then why did I do that? In order to save your time. For example, if you have, let's say, more than 3 4 5 or hundreds of the users, I don't think you are going to select 100 of the users in order to set the NTFS permission. So that I made a member of this NTFS. So if I have to assign a permission for this user 1 2 3, so I'm going to assign permission only to this one group because they are nested over here. So any group policy that is applied over here, any sharing permission is applied to this group, will be definitely affected to these members. Okay, now next thing is we need to create one common folder which will be used as a home folder over here for the purpose of your network NTFS sharing. So over here the name of folder itself I have given NTFS. See, it is empty. So all those 3 users over here, if you notice, all these 3 users home folder with NTFS permission shared folder and the files will be listed over here. Okay, now in order to create your home folder and start your NTFS permission, we could do this way as well. See, we could do from here as well. Right click, properties. Okay, properties, there are many ways. Okay, let's go to advanced sharing, go this. Okay, select the users, permissions, all these things. This can be done. Okay, or we do have a security over here. From here you can select any user, whomever you want to assign this permission. Advanced, then you will have to disable inheritance. This is another way. Actually we are coming in this screen again, so don't worry. I'm going to show you in detail how NTFS sharing works and how the home folders are created. So without wasting much time, so let's start our journey. Now the sharing over here for the home folder and NTFS, I'm using file and storage services. Of course it's a new over here, so we are going to use over here. From there I'm going to choose share because I would like to share. So what type of share we are going to do? That's it, that is SMB. Okay, so click task, new share, see SMB share, that is a SMB share. That means this basic profile represents the fastest way to create an SMB file share, typically used to share files with Windows based computer. That means in Windows based computers this SMB file share is always used. So of course we are going to use this one. I'm not going for the advanced application quick or anything. We are going to use the fastest one. Next, now here you will have to choose that folder that you want to give a NTFS permission along with the home folder. Okay, now I'm going to choose my folder name, that is NTFS. Select folder. You might be wondering, but here inside this NTFS root folder we are going to set the permission for the 3 users. Then how does it do? That will be done in next few steps, don't worry. So next, now if I have to talk about the path of this shared folder, when the client gets access over this description, it is up to you. Okay, this is the path of the root folder. Actually this is the PC name and this is the name of that folder that is shared over here. Okay, now this will need in future, don't forget. Okay, PC name, that means the server name, PDC, and NTFS is the name of the folder. If I wish I could copy also, but it's a short name that we can easily memorize. Next, now it is asking allow caching of share. Okay, we'll give that. And this one is important, enable access based enumeration. Don't forget to click this. What it does, access based enumeration displays only the files and folders that a user has permissions to access. Did you get my point? Over here we have created one folder that is as a common folder. Inside these 3 users folders are going to be listed. So when I click this option, okay, when I come to this button over here, what it does, it will create individual folder for each one of them and it will not allow each other's folder to be viewed. So because of that, and it will not give each other's folder to take over, to see, to write, edit, anything. That is completely invisible because of this option. Don't forget to click this. Okay, and encrypt, it's your local environment. If you want to give it, it's okay, otherwise just leave it. Okay, so basically these 2 are needed. And next, now these all users are having permission to have access over that folder. Do you want to give all of these people to have the permission to access those folders? Obviously no. Then what is the next option? Customize. Okay, now whom do you want to remove? Users, I want to remove. Okay, allow users, remove. Okay, you can remove the because the object is vital, you must prevent it object from inheriting. Okay, what we need to do, disable inheritance first. What happens? Otherwise it will get permission to all these users over here. Disable inheritance at this screen is mandatory, otherwise all of these users or whoever are going to be listed, they are going to get the full permission like the individual. So I'm going to click disable inheritance, convert inherited permission into explicit permission. That means inside this folder, root folder, there will be now 3 folders generated in a home folder and each user will be able to access only their folder. That means they will not be able to see each other's. Now if I try to remove it, now it should go. Did you notice? All users of this biotech, I don't want to give this. Now these 3 are needed. This is the system, this is the administrator, this is the creator owner. This creator owner means whoever is going to create any file inside that particular folder after getting the permission in terms of your home folder, that user will have the full permission in their folder. That means inside this, now very soon you'll see the folder name, let's say NTFS1 will be created. Now this named user will be able to do whatever he or she want in this folder, but the other user will not have any permission on this folder. So it means that. Now what do I need to add? The main group. What is that group name? Here my group name is NTFS, because NTFS group, all the members are going to access this folder. See, NTFS folder. Okay. Now we come to the level of security. So what type of your permission you'd like to give or allow as an authorization to these clients. These are the most commonly used over here. But if I go to advanced, you'll find in detail that we might call as a fine grain. So over here, what I want them to do is execute obviously list folders, let them read attribute also, and create a folder and append. Because if they are not allowed to create a folder in their subfolder, then there is no purpose of creating this NTFS sharing. Read permission you want to give, otherwise you can remove it. In our case, let's give it. Okay, now only apply this permission to objects or containers within this container. That means to the specific user, you mean to say that. If you want to add any more condition, you have option for that. The user, the group, member of, what value do you want to have, and so. Okay, so we are not going to do all this. So let's go to OK. Remove, because we don't want that. So these are the permission we are giving. Okay, apply. Now see who are getting the permission in that root folder that we are going to share as a file server for entire this stuff. That is a NTFS group as well. NTFS group is getting that permission. Creator, whoever creates, administrator and system needs to have the full permission. Okay, apply. Okay. Now these are the users or the groups who are getting permission in order to access this folder that will be used as your main server, as a file server, I mean to say that. Okay, now okay, next. So these all are some sort of your summary, whatever you did, that is over here. Create, and it's done. Okay, it's done now. But our next important work, if I go and log in as any kind client in my machine, let's say I'm going to log in as NTFS 3. Don't forget, this user has assigned NTFS permission to have access over that folder. So how this user is going to access that folder? It may be straight away, a simple way, giving a UNC path. Okay, so let it log in first. It's a festive time, so I can hear the crackers sound outside. Now let it log in. Come on. By the time we'll see what is going on in that folder that we have shared as a folder. That means the main server over here. It's empty. Okay, it's empty. So right now let's go to the client. Okay, it has login. Now if I access as a client, that means NTFS user 3 to that folder, let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, 192.168.1.100. okay, folder name NTFS. Let's see why this user is able to have access over this folder, because you have set the NTFS permission to use. Now whenever the client login in their PC, they can access it via their UNC path and they can create their files and folders over here. But this is a lengthy process for every client. Go to the UNC and write the path of your file server, write the name of the folder, you created something and close it, and user do not want to do all this type of steps. Actually they want everything in shortcut. That means when they go to my computer, they should get one drive over here. In that drive they are going to store their documents. See, right now we're having 1 2 3, because since it's a virtual one, these two will come automatically. It's a drive. That means when this user, okay, NTFS 3 wanted to log in any computer, it's in a roaming profile mechanism, there will be one drive separately created over here. Now user will store that data in that drive, and that will be straight away redirected to where? In your main server. That means here in this folder, here it will get redirected. So our next step is to create the home folder. Now let's see the process of creating a home folder. Okay, now I'm going to close it because I want to open it again. Okay, we are in the exact same that means our server. Now I would like to create a home folder for all those users whom we created just now. Okay, that means 3 users, whenever they log in along with the NTFS permission, their home folder should be listed over there. So let it come, the server manager. Okay, this is my virtual, so it might take few seconds extra. Please bear with me. Now let's go to the users, and I would like to create a home folder so that they don't have to worry about the place of storing. Okay, they get their separate drive, and every staff or client should know that is their private drive. So they store their data, anything out there, no one will be able to view that. So select all these users. Okay, you could assign home folder one by one also. See, I'll show you. You could assign home folder one by one. Right click, okay, profile, connect to, here choose the drive letter, anything you want, and here you need to write a path. Okay, PDC, remember, NTFS, and I can give percentage username percentage. But you know, for 3 users I don't want to write this command 3 times. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select all the users at the same time, right click, property, you might find a bit different, profile, home folder, connect to, and now give the path. That is a file shared computer name and the folder name. That is PDC, name of that computer, and the folder that we have shared is NTFS. Okay, and I want to create a home folder for all those 3 users. So that's why the easiest way is percentage username percentage. Please do not forget to use this slash over here. Okay, so done, apply. There shouldn't be any error. Congratulations, it's done. Now what's gonna happen, let's see. Now if I go to my folder where I have set this NTFS permission, okay, along with home folder, previously that folder was empty. Remember, that folder was empty. Now let's see, is it empty still? No. Why? These are the 3 home folders which we created just now in a one click for those users. Okay, but our prime concern over here is that the client should be able to have access over those folders. Now if I do over here, I'm going to log off, okay, so that your policy gets implemented immediately. I hope all of you remember the group policy refreshment interval. Okay, that's almost 5 minutes and I don't want to wait for that. So when I log in, that group policy will be deployed automatically in my client machine. So I'm going to log in as a one of my client, that's an NTFS 3 user. Now you'll see in my computer one separate drive will be listed, and only this user called NTFS 3 is authenticated and authorized to use that. So let it come. Even if the administrator log in this PC, that drive will not be visible because we didn't set the permission or the home folder even for the domain administrator. Let it log in. You might be thinking why it's taking time, because the group policy has been enforced over there along with their home folder actually. So if I go to my drive, as I said, if I go to my computer, there should be one drive. If not, we fail. Thank God we are not failed. See, did you see this? So this folder is now created over here. This works in terms of your network map drive. If I double click over here, okay, right click, new, let's say, come on, okay, I'll click one file I'm going to create. Let's say created by NTFS 3 user. That's the name of file. Okay, now if I go back to the domain from where this setting was done actually, and I intend to open that folder, so let's see this file is generated there or not. This is my drive, NTFS 3 was that user. Double click, you see that file is generated. What if this user number 3 log off from this PC, okay, and user number 1 come to know that in a folder of user number 3, that means NTFS user number 3, he has stored certain confidential document in that home folder. Since that user 1 is also a member of this domain environment, so he might be thinking that he can get access over that. So let's try what happens if he wanted to access that data. Just a second. Okay, now NTFS 1 user is trying to log in. But don't forget, for this NTFS 1 user is also assigned as a home folder because we did for the 3 users. Now this user will also have his own home folder. That means only his one. You will not be able to see in a listed form the home folder of other client. So let it log in first, then I'm going to show it. You know, this all these works are major works in any system administration, in any environment. File sharing is most important, so you need to be fluent on this. Okay, I mean to say you're having a bit knowledge on this. See, this user is able to display only his network drive home folder. That means if I create anything over here, Okay, let's say, okay, come on, I don't know why it's taking so long. From user 1, as soon as I create, I go to the domain controller and I go to that root folder. You see, it is done, automatically done. But what if this user is smart enough in order to put his effort to access this folder? Okay, what he follows this path, pdc/ntfs. So let's try that from here as that user, pdc. It sounds like PDIT, no? PDC and NTFS. Let's try. What did you see? Though the path is indicating for all those 3 folders, but it's going to display only this. That was the access-based enumeration. Okay, so it's quite easy. I don't think it was difficult to understand or say any kind of doubt. So NTFS permission and home folder is very much important work as a system administrator, so that your permission is set precisely. So you have to be careful while setting a permission for your NTFS permission. Otherwise, the wrong user or any other third client might get permission in order to access the confidential document from the network. So if you think this NTFS sharing permission and home folder steps were so in easy going way, and you got 100%, so please do like and subscribe. Thank you.